Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Britney Hommertzheim. Britney Hommertzheim began the first decade of her security career in the U.S. Army, where she began leading a team of 20 and developed her career to leading over 90 team leads. She has traveled internationally to assess the network security of military, police, and other governmental partners across the globe. She now oversees the Information Security Department for AMC Theaters. She is responsible for the development and implementation of the global security strategy, oversees all security personnel, and ensures business impacting security concerns are addressed at the executive level. Britney is a certified information systems security professional, certified information security manager, project management professional, and holds certifications for CompTIA Security Plus, Cloud Security Knowledge, and IT Business Management. She holds a bachelor's degree in applied and discrete mathematics and a master's degree in cybersecurity. She also served as an officer and on the board of directors for the International Information System Security Certification Consortium, or ISC Squared, Kansas City chapter. She serves as an advisor for multiple security conferences and is a founder of Women in Security Kansas City and Emerge IT Executive Leadership Group. Britney was recognized as a rising trendsetter for technology by the Kansas City Central Exchange and was also named an IT Security Power Player by SC Magazine. Well, good afternoon, Britney. Glad to have you on the show.
I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
You bet. I'm excited. We get to talk a little bit about Cybersecurity Day. That's always kind of a hot list, right? So, Britney, can you educate us on a few things as it relates to cybersecurity? I know you did this as your first career in the U.S. Army, and thank you for your service, by the way.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Did you know you wanted to get into security when you jumped into this from day one, or is it just something that just came along?
Well, I think it's something that developed over time. So initially when I went to college, there was nothing on the security platform. I had big hopes and dreams going to double major in computer engineering, electrical engineering, minoring in math. And then I went to college and had fun in college. But from there, I took random classes. Then I ended up taking a military science class, which is what got me interested in the military. So I had this very tense conversation with Mom where I said, "Hey, Mom, don't think I'm going to do all those things before. I'm actually just going to go into the military." So that was an interesting conversation to have.
Oh, sure.
From there, once I was in the military, my primary focus was in IT. So I did anything that facilitated communications, whether on the computer, phones, satellites, radios, anything that you could imagine. And then as a military officer, we always had to worry about ComSec. So making our information secure as we transmitted across the world. And I got more and more interested in how we keep that information secure and how we time things in a way that all of us are changing our information at the same time so that way our communication isn't interfered. From there, I started to develop the information security track and really got involved there and ended up getting my master's in cybersecurity and then taking more of an information security role in the Army before transitioning into civilian life. So to answer your question, no, I didn't think this was where I was going to go, but I got very interested along the way.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And again, it's interesting how things pop up in our lives and sometimes just in our head and say, hey, we want to shift gears and go a different direction. Britney, you're very involved here in the Kansas City's tech and security community. Just want to mention two prominent groups here in Kansas City. You help guide and direct. You're a board member for ISC Squared, which is, just for our audience, it's the International Information Systems Security Certification Consortium. That's a mouthful.
It is.
And you're also the founder of Women in Security. Can you give us the story, the backdrop on Women in Security here in Kansas City?
Absolutely. So when I was transitioning out of the military into the civilian world, I've always been very interested and active in community roles. And so I was working with ISC Squared. I was meeting people here. And when I transitioned into civilian world, not much had really changed. So I was going to a lot of the meetings. I had met up with a few different women, but I never really took note of the difference until one night at ISC Squared. We always have this break where we introduce ourselves in the beginning, then we have a break to go get some refreshments or some dinner, and then we come back in and we start kind of the meeting and general discussion. And when we were walking back in to the meeting, I realized I was the only woman there that was in the entire group. I never really noticed before, being in the military, and part of what I was doing, you're mostly in a male-dominated field, but it never really came to mind. But I could realize, having to walk into that environment, not knowing anyone, how intimidating that could be. And so we really kind of wanted to take that away and provide a space for Kansas City for women who were interested in getting into the career field, people who already were in the career field, or even for young women that are looking to get in the career field, and older women who are looking to transition into something information security, and provide that space for them to find out a little bit more, and not such an intimidating environment when you're walking into it. Women tend to be very, very collaborative. So being able to walk into a space where you can interact freely without feeling restrictive was very important.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I appreciate you starting and founding such a great community here in Kansas City area. That's awesome. Britney, can you give us being our audience, one piece of important security advice? I know we hear it all the time, but you roll up your sleeves and you're in it every day. Can you just give us one little nugget you consider important to you and should be important to us?
So I know a lot of people probably hear this repeatedly, but the most important thing that you could do as a user on any system, whether it's on the internet or on your home system, is to not reuse your password. It sounds easy, but we all know that it's not easy with the amount of accounts we have online and the amount of systems that we log into every day. It's really hard to do that. But using something like a password vault, I would absolutely recommend. Most of the time that we see fraud or see account takeover activity, it's because people are reusing their passwords on various accounts. And unfortunately, if you reuse your password that you use for your email, I now own all of your site access everywhere. So to explain that a little bit better, if I know your credentials to log into your email, I can go to any site that's out there, type in that email address, and click Forgot Password. And they're going to send me a link to the email that I now have access to, and I can reset your password. And I have now owned your account. So one simple thing that you can do to protect yourself would be absolutely do not reuse passwords.
I think that's great advice. Being in the technology profession, we struggled a lot with getting that same message out to our end user community, and it's very difficult, but we need to be disciplined. So thank you for sharing that. That is important. Brittany, last question here before we wrap up. What one piece of advice that you give our younger people coming up, younger entrepreneurs or security-minded professionals in their professional careers in the security space?
I think really as a young professional, and this really kind of branches across all professions, is the importance of networking, especially in the security space. In information security, there are so many different verticals that you can explore and examine, whether you're on the offensive or defensive side. There's application security, network security, system security, management of security, pen testing. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. When you start to network, you'll start to learn about all these different facets of security and what you might actually be interested in and what things that you don't want to go towards or stray away from. So I would say try to network. Any opportunity that you can get involved in the community, do that. It will give you insights into the information security profession, as well as you'll start to understand which businesses you're drawn to as far as cultural attraction. You'll also understand which facets of information security draw you in the most. So network, not only will it find you that next job, but it'll help you navigate the path of information security.
Thank you for sharing that. Brittany, I just want to personally thank you for being on the show today, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Absolutely. It's been a blast. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Bye for now.